and let us all do we can to build a better future. All right, so Roger Meadows, I want to give a special shout out to him because he was very important as a point of contact in regards to telling me what's happening for the campaign for New York healthcare. Mm-hmm. And sadly, the state of New York and their legislatures failed the people. So I want to pull up this first image of the March for Medicare for All because we cannot give up this fight. So here's their Twitter page. They're doing a big event on July 24th. Already, not only is the city of Chicago, but numerous other cities are on board for this March for Medicare for All. Look, we are the richest country in the world, and we do not have single-payer health care. And I don't care what your political ideology is, whether you are a Democratic voter or a Republican voter, Libertarian voter, Green Party voter, socialist, doesn't matter. I don't care how old, young you are, what generation you are with. It doesn't matter. No one should go into medical bankruptcy because they don't have a health insurance. No one should go into medical bankruptcy because, you know, they have a dangerous ailment. There's a lot of doctors out there and nurses who go through years of medical school and training just so they can help treat people. I only can imagine what's happening to these doctors and nurses knowing that they have the power and knowledge to make people's lives better, but because of our sick healthcare system, because of how disgusting it is, a lot of patients can't make return trips to the hospital. A lot of people are afraid to even go to the hospital in the first place because of the cost. Daniel, before we play this video, remind our viewers, I mean, specifically here in the Chicagoland area, how much does it cost for an ambulance ride to the hospital?
Okay, it's basically two people, maybe three, that are each making maybe $20 an hour. That charge, well, not them. There are people that
they're not
control them
are
charging about $100 a block.
$100 a block. So let's play this video.
Siren's very expensive to run. It runs off of a liquid penguin or a panda or something.
All right. So let's go ahead and play this video, and just so you guys get an idea. Now, it's a funny TikTok video, but I think it really kind of explains just how sick our system is. Let's play it.
Hey, boss, can I run an idea past you real quick?
Yeah, sure, Teddy. Come on in. What do you got?
Okay, you know how right now we have to pay for our customers' medical bills when they go to the emergency room?
Yeah, I know.
Well, what if we didn't do that?
Go on.
Okay, so we look at the diagnosis the emergency doctor gives the patient, and if it's not a real emergency, we don't pay.
And we decide what's an emergency and what's not.
Exactly.
So we make the patient figure out on their own whether or not they actually have a medical emergency.
Yeah.
Which they won't be able to do because they have no formal medical training.
It's perfect. And then they'll blame the doctor when they get a huge bill.
Teddy, you've really outdone yourself this time.
Oh, thanks, boss.
I think a bonus might be in order.
Really?
Oh, not for you. For me.
And that's how it works. And it's a funny version, but in reality, there's a lot of Americans that are still left holding the bag. During 2020, we did stories about Americans walking out of the hospital when they're getting their treatment for COVID. $100K, $500K, $1 million. No one that I know in my social group has that kind of money in their hip back pocket. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in our viewing audience that don't know anyone that could pay off that kind of a bill. And even before COVID, we said on the show, one bad day and you could lose everything. An ailment, a sickness, an unknown disease. Medical bankruptcy is a leading cause of homelessness in this country. Not because somebody's being lazy or doesn't want to work. And so this is why we got to really support Medicare for All. This is why the next time if there is an opportunity for force to vote, more people need to show up. The next time there is a campaign for New York healthcare or in any other state, people need to show up. And so that's why on July 24th, there's going to be the March for Medicare for All. People need to show up for this. We can't let these Democratic lawmakers think that, oh, well, just because they're in office, we're going to be quiet about it. No, no, no. They ran on Medicare for All, and we're going to lay down the heat. We're going to lay down the pressure. And the thing is, corporate media is kind of sort of talking about Medicare for All, but they're trying to make people forget, trying to make people understand that, whoa, wait. We have Obamacare, and we might be getting a public option, but no, that's not the case at all either. So let's go ahead and play these two videos from Case Study QB. And what I find funny is that every time I log on to his Twitter page, when looking at any of his videos, and I'm not logged into Twitter, Twitter has deemed his page to be controversial.
Well, I mean, in a weird roundabout way, it's actually really accurate because he's covering mainstream media stuff, which is very controversial, and that a lot of it's just not accurate. So Twitter's going, oh, this is not an official account. Let me peruse through these videos. Oh, man, these are really terrible videos. This is very controversial. Let's put up a disclaimer.
So if you ever do get a chance to go on your computer, laptop, and you're not logged on to Twitter, go to Case Study QB's Twitter page, and the same thing's going to come up. This page has controversial stuff. All he has on there is clips from corporate media. So let's play this video about, well, Medicare for all.
There's going to be lots of healthcare policy fights. On the left, there's debates about how best to expand coverage. Should it be through something like Medicare for all, where everyone gets it through a government plan, or a public option, which has not had a lot of momentum so far under this new administration, but might be a more limited way. There's questions about what to do about the population who live in the 12 Republican-led states that haven't expanded Medicaid, which leaves millions of people in sort of limbo created by the 2012 Supreme Court decision. And there's going to be debates about things like drug prices. Now, on some of these issues, there might be some overlap between Republicans and Democrats. On others, there are going to be strong ideological differences. Obviously, there's no Republican support for something like Medicare for all. But this chapter of looking backwards on trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act and go back to something like existed before, that seems to be fading away right now.
Yeah. Garrett, I know you have a question for the panel.
There's going to be lots of.
All right, let's pause it right now because the
policy
video is going to repeat itself again. So look, let's one big takeaway from that conversation is they're talking about the Affordable Care Act, which is Obamacare, which is actually Romneycare, which is an idea that came out of the Heritage Foundation. So, we never hear like Republican lawmakers going in a tirade about, oh, it's socialism, it's socialism. It came out of the Heritage Foundation. Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, Romneycare, it's all the same thing. It's very conservative. It's very pro-business. And the thing is, it doesn't help out working-class citizens. This is why we need to have Medicare for all, because what we have even now doesn't work. The rest of the international community, let's take, for example, Canada, Great Britain, Australia, they have Medicare for all. And I'm not saying these countries are perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. But the U.S. is drastically behind these other countries when it comes down to health care. Our citizens are facing poverty because of our medical system that we have. Let's pull up this next video from Case Study QB. And again, Twitter, for some reason, likes to censor his videos or say that, oh, be careful when you click on this because this is controversial. There's nothing controversial on Case Study QB's Twitter page. It's just corporate media. But I guess corporate media is just now considered to be controversial.
It's funny. It's corporate media.
It really
it's
is.
just a react channel that doesn't do any fact checking, doesn't apologize when it screws up. It's
Twitter,
well-paid people.
Yeah, Twitter is just screwing around and messing around with other content creators. And Case Study QB isn't doing anything wrong. Keep on doing the good work, and be sure to check out his YouTube channel and also his Odyssey channel as well. Let's go ahead and play this video.
On Capitol Hill, there will be healthcare debates.
Yeah.
Right? There, some Democrats still want Medicare for all. Joe Biden campaigned. You mentioned the primaries. That was a testy issue early on. Is it Medicare for all?
Can we pause it for a second? Can we pause it for a second? It wasn't a testy issue, all right? It wasn't a controversial issue at all. The thing is, you had Bernie Sanders being a nutless wonder, calling that Joe Biden his good friend. That's what Bernie Sanders said about Joe Biden. He's his good friend. Bernie, that's your friend, Joe Biden. You said it. He's your friend. He's your friend. You said it throughout the entire damn campaign and every single debate. He's your friend. You were given a golden opportunity. If there was ever an existence of gods or a pantheon of gods making a perfect scenario for somebody that has a strong political message at the height of a pandemic, you could have been fighting for Medicare for all even harder than you did in 2016, and you blew it. And when it came down to force the vote, even you didn't show up at that town hall. You were needed for that, as were all those other 15 congressmen and women on the force the vote petition, and they didn't show up. And the thing is, corporate media is going to keep on saying that, oh, Medicare for all is a controversial thing. There was one point, I remember, at least in my youth, where cannabis, oh my goodness, cannabis is dangerous. Oh no. Now guess what? Majority of states are voting in favor for its legalization at the recreation use and medical use. So, oh no, not so controversial now. And when you even have Democratic and Republican lawmakers get involved in cannabis, they're doing it. They're getting involved in it. How convenient. So Medicare for all is not a controversial issue. Let's play the rest of this.
This will continue.
Bernie Sanders, who is the Senate Budget Committee chairman, is trying to work healthcare pieces into this budget resolution that is mostly supposed to be about infrastructure, some human infrastructure, as Nancy Pelosi calls it. But he wants to push on prescription drug issues. He's talking about Medicare expansion, things like that. And yeah, this is now the floor. And what do you build on top of it? It will go on for years inside the Democratic Party because healthcare is an issue that they like to talk about. Republicans basically don't like to talk about it except to complain about it. So that's where you stand, and we know what the floor is.
Right. That on Capitol Hill, there will be healthcare debates.
All right. So at the end of the day, corporate media is still having this narrative, and they're still pushing it along, that Medicare for all is controversial. On July 24th, there will be the March for Medicare for All. Now, the thing is, people need to show up. Progressives, independents, and yes, conservatives, Republicans, libertarians, socialists, everybody. Everyone should show up because this is a problem that's impacting our country. We have an opioid crisis. We have a medical debt crisis. We're the richest country in the world, and we cannot provide single-payer health care for our citizens. We can't provide real mental health care for our citizens.
I'm correct one thing on that. We definitely can. We just won't.
Damn. Daniel with the truth. And the thing is, that is a sad fact. But Dan, hold on.
Yes.
We have money for a joint strike fighter that can't fight at night.
I mean, 1.5 trillion is nothing. Easy amount of spending.
We have money for regime change wars. We have money for the prison industrial complex. We have money for the war on drugs.
We have local money to half of local money goes to police force for some reason.
Oh, and I forgot the most important thing. The number one constituents. Wall Street, big banks, major corporations can get bailed out. But when it comes down to Medicare for all, I guess we can't get it. I guess we just can't come up with the money, but we're choosing not to, as Daniel said. Yeah. We have elected leaders, elected leaders, including Bernie Sanders' good friend Joe Biden, who's against Medicare for all, choosing not to. Again, Bernie Sanders' good friend. Remember, he said that. That's his friend, his pal, his buddy, his best friend in the whole wide world. July 24th will be March for Medicare for all. Please, people, we need to keep on speaking out for this. We need to keep on fighting for it. And eventually there's going to have to be a general strike because I can't think of any elected official currently that has the courage to even fight for us. It's going to be up to us, and it's always been up to us.
And I would think I would just add into this that we're really kind of dumb. We're this superpower, ultimate money, can print however much we want to fund whatever we want. And the thing holding us back is that our politics are just a mess. They're corrupt. They're amiss. They're corrupted. They're paid for. They're bought. And we aren't doing enough individually to try and fight back because we know historically, if enough people want something, it'll happen. It's if basically you can almost will things into existence if enough people believe it for enough period of time. And we should even mention our connection that's going to be happening on the 24th.
Yes, we'll be part of the Chicago event. We'll be there, but this isn't about any channel. No, this isn't about any this isn't about one person or one group or anything. This is about everyone all together. We here at Hard Lens Media believe in Medicare for all. We believe that we should have Medicare for all in this country, and it shouldn't be exclusive just to politicians. It should be for everyone because no one, I don't care if we have this. Guess what? There's a lot of people I have disagreements with. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people who I may not see things eye to eye with, but the last thing I want to see is someone driven to poverty because they had one bad day. They got sick, or they got hit with an ailment, or they had a terrible accident. And now they're out there on the streets. I don't want to see that. And that's one of the leading causes of homelessness in this country. Medical debt. I don't like seeing it happen to anyone. No one should go through that in the richest country in the world. We can fix this problem now, but we have leaders who choose not to. July 24th, March for Medicare for all. But I want to try every single option. March for Medicare for all. Force to vote when that opportunity comes again, if it happens again, because we got to jump on it again, or either at the state level, like how New York was getting it done. I'm willing to try every avenue of approach, as should all of us. Let's fight for Medicare for all so that no one should go through poverty or seeing the risk of seeing a loved one, knowing that we have the resources to take care of them.